Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancee, Chapter 91. When we last left our heroes, Erika and I convinced Nagi that fuck it, it's time to leave. There's nothing really keeping us here, and it's probably better if we get out of the hotel anyway. So they do. They make their way out. Nagi, however, is stopped by Ritsuko for a while, who drops some cryptic exposition on him, telling him that Sosuke, the brother, might be closer than he thinks, which, who knows what that means, but it means that Ritsuko seems to know where Sosuke is, just in general, and that he seems to be pretty close by, according to Ritsuko. She also tells Nagi, don't tell Erika that I'm here, and so the gang goes on their merry way, and Ai drops Nagi off at a safe house, which he learns is the Seigawa Shrine. We have some sweet goodbyes between Nagi and Erika, and now it looks like we'll get some answers as to what's been going on with Hiro since the news about Nagi and Ai broke. So let's jump right on into 91st Foul. You really are cute, Umino-kun. And our picture here is of Ai in this, she's got these round glasses, this neckline that's more a boob line, I suppose. It goes all the way down and off shoulder kind of thing. It's a look, I guess. The place I brought him to was Hiro's house. Will she be willing to talk? And we open right where we left off with Hiro coming to fetch Nagi as he's still on his ass in shock at where he is. Nagi asks, Seigawa-san, so does this mean that I'll be staying at your place for a while? And Hiro just doesn't respond. Remember last time he met Hiro, she was all, don't speak to me ever again. And Nagi sort of looks at her, waiting for some kind of response. But he flashes back to that line. If you do me a favor, please never speak to me ever again. And Nagi thinks, questioning his own assumption. Was I wrong about that? Or why else could I be here? And he turns to her, and she does this little hand motion. Almost like she's telling him to quiet down, maybe? Kind of shocking Nagi, who thinks, what in the world is going on here? And then he's now inside the shrine. Don't quite know what he's doing. She's pouring him a cup of tea, it looks like. So, I don't really know what's going on here, but now I can rest easy. Is it really okay for me to come here and hide for a while? But Hiro's still silent. Just hands him a cup of tea. Thank you very much. And he drinks the tea. Hiro points down a hallway. Nagi looks down at, huh? I guess she was pointing to the bath, because he goes to the bath, takes a dip in the bath, phew, and thinks, this is the second bath today. I never thought that I'd ever find myself soaking in Seigawa-san's bath. And then he thinks, as is his horny teenage boy kind of way, could Seigawa-san also have bathed in this water? As if. And he sort of, puts half of his head down in the water and thinks, well, since she hasn't said even a single word to me yet, I guess she does hate me now after all, doesn't she? Which, yeah, there still is something weird going on with Hiro. But he sees this sort of mountain of something in a barrel, I think. And he looks at it, salt? In here? And he thinks for a bit and thinks, I get it. Like massage salt, right? I'm not quite sure what that does, but I guess he's rubbing himself with the salt. He eventually gets out of the bath. He sees a bathrobe. A change of clothes? Did Seigawa-san prepare this for me? Since when? He sort of gets dressed. Is this plain white kimono meant to be my pajamas? As expected of a shrine. So yeah, he's sort of in this white robe. And then he comes upon Hiro, just sort of sweeping outside, and Nagi, sort of embarrassed, says, so I was wondering if there was anything I could help with around here? Since it's still too early to go to sleep, and I borrowed your bath for free. And Hiro thinks for a moment and points to where a shovel is just sort of cordoned off by 4 traffic cones and, caution tape. I don't know what's going on here. He about to dig his own grave? Nagi's also confused. And he just starts digging. He just fucking goes for it. No questions asked. There's this little hole in the ground. Is something like this enough? But why in the world would they need a hole this large? I don't know. is kind of not coffin-shaped, maybe person-sized Nagi, I'd be a little cautious right now. And then he thinks, wait, why does something feel off? First off, if Seiko-san's already cut ties with me, what am I doing here? Could it be? And he flashes back to the salt. She had me purify my body with salt, and then the kimono. I put on a white robe to steel myself. Also that she can bury me here in this hole? I will say, while that is the conclusion I got, a part of me thinks Nagi never quite recovered from the watermelon incident. I think he's still a little scared of this girl, which is fair, I will say. But maybe he's about to die here. Like, I feel like the Nagi of before, Hiro chopped up the watermelon and, like, threateningly let its juices drip down the blade. He was, like, always so, everything is a sign that Hiro is secretly into me. And I was like, oh no, it's all a sign she's about to kill me. So we'll see how all that plays out. Could it be that and then we cut to Hiro sharpening a blade. Nagi peers in. We get a close-up of the blade. And Hiro just looks back at him with the blade gleaming. Oh, that's some good shit. Given our title line, you really are cute, Umino-kun, I'm guessing it's all going to be some kind of prank or something. But it's real fun for the moment. And Nagi's just panicking. She's going to kill me! He just runs through the hall. Please just spare my life. I beg for your forgiveness. But his shoes kind of, trips over his own feet and falls flat on his face. He, falls back, turns around, begs Hiro, Eek! And Hiro just breaks down laughing. Ah, you really are cute, Umino-kun. Yeah, there's our line. As Nagi's just sort of stunned and just asks, huh? And then Nagi thinks, you mean it was all in my head? Oh, so it wasn't actually an intended prank? Okay, because Hiro says, do you really think that would ever happen? The salt in the bath was just a pile of salt for good luck. Is that a thing in Japan? And because we had no pajamas for men, I thought the white robe might be okay. The hole in the yard is because we're going to plant a tree there tomorrow, so I thought I'd have you help out. I didn't think that it would scare you. But again, it's still sort of weird that she was just completely silent the whole time. Nagi's sort of embarrassed at his misunderstanding, and then asks, then, why do you refuse to say a word to me all day? And Hiro says, that's because I thought I'd just tease you a bit. Alright. I mean, I suppose there is a big difference between teasing a bit and making him think she's going to kill him. She was trying to have some fun, and Nagi maybe took it a little bit. Maybe Nagi made a few assumptions that were outside of her intentions. But Nagi's sort of shocked. Tease me? It's been a while. I mean, it's been a while since I last saw you, and you were just so funny trying to sneak around, and I couldn't resist. Then this flashback. Seiko-san, how? And Nagi stops her. Oh, all right, already. I don't want to talk about it. And Hiro then tells them, with that said, I need to apologize. I seem to have misunderstood something. I've been told that it was I-san that started it all. Didn't Nagi tell her that, though, back in 82 or whenever it was? But also, to you, I acted like a spoiled child. So, I don't think anyone has ever quite been, no character in the series really quite been mature enough to just outright apologize like this, right? This is a good sign of maturity for someone in this cast, at least. And Nagi looks at her and flashes back to that never speak to me ever again line and reacts, that was... And, also shocked and kind of questioning, and Hiro's just, yeah. And then he looks at her again. I don't get it. But then, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. I don't get it. What's not to get? She was kind of spoiled, unless it doesn't quite work out that she's into him. Because that's what's going on. She was sort of being childish about the guy she liked, maybe being in a relationship with someone else. But in order for that explanation to really work, Nagi needs to know that she's into him, which I don't think he knows. So that's his confusion. Anyway, Hiro goes on, but when I-san contacted me, I thought to myself, How long will I keep acting like this? I'd totally fallen for Ai-san's story, and at some point I decided that I was fine with just being a bit player. Okay, so did I contact her? Like, what did I contact her about? Like, is this I contacted her about holding Nagi up for a week? Or did I say, haha, Nagi's dating me, aren't you a fool? Or something. I don't know. Because that line, I totally fallen for Ai-san's story, makes it feel like the latter. But I don't know. Anyway, Nagi, who's still not quite aware of what's going on here, a bit player. That's kinda... And Hiro cuts him off. That's why I have to stop being so childish. And Nagi sort of looks at her, and we see this, like, angry point. I decided to fight. I'm the star of this show. And there's our money shot. It's been a while since we've had such a, like, clear-cut money shot. But yeah, it's just Hiro, like, full of determination, ready to, like, you know, get her man, so to speak. Not so to speak, literally get her man. You know, determined. And he sort of winks at Nagi, and Nagi's kind of taken aback there. Will you help me as much as the bit player can? And Nagi sort of chimes in, yes, it'll be my pleasure. And Hiro kind of embarrassed, so you're fine being a bit player? Which is an interesting bit. Like, the idea that Nagi would be a bit player in the romantic drama of his own life is kind of interesting. Like, say what you will, he is the axis on all these romantic dramas sort of hinge upon. He is not the bit player here. He is the central actor. But Nagi, of course, is head over heels. Seigo-san really is cool. And then we cut back to the Umino restaurant. Someone's saying, and so, for the next... Oh, it's Erika at her own safe house. For the next few days, I'll be temporarily in your care. And Namie is the mom. You're very welcome. I never thought Erika-chan would come stay with us. And Yohei also chimes in, it'll be a blast every day from now on. And he turns to Sachi. Aren't you glad, Sachi? And Sachi's just pouting. Yeah. Her sister has come over, but Sachi's feeling down. Hiro's back to normal. Their relationship is back to normal. Next time, face-to-face with Nagi's parents? Okay. So let's talk about this sort of stinger here. This Sachi scene. Because I think we're going to have to deal with, to talk about this scene, we're going to have to talk about Nagi Sachi. Because I think there are two layers of Sachi being upset here. One, she wanted Nagi with her. And two, she did not want Nagi with Hiro. So she could maybe have some romantic times with her brother, Jesus fucking Christ. Or so that he couldn't have any romantic times with Hiro. Either of those, I think both of them together is sort of what's acting on Sachi right now. Let's talk about this next time face-to-face with Nagi's parents. Because Nagi has two sets of parents. And it's not quite clear, at least in translation, maybe it's a little bit more obvious in the original Japanese, which set of parents it's talking about there. Is Nagi going to confront the Uminos, maybe get a little bit closer with the Sosuke mystery? Or is Nagi's parents just referring to the Uminos, and it's not really saying that Nagi is going to have that face-to-face? It's going to be like Erika spending time with her birth parents or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, not a whole lot to talk about with this epilogue. Let's talk about the chapter itself. It's cute. Again, the Nagi Hiro dynamic, as much as they're not my main ship in this series, it's always a lot of fun. You know, and Hiro, I guess Hiro's slightly to blame for the misunderstanding. But it is fair that she never really intended for Nagi to make that assumption. Make the I'm about to die. All of this is set up for a funeral ritual. Though once she had the knife, I don't really have a counter explanation for the knife scene. Though I suppose we never really see her chasing Nagi with the knife. It's not like she goes on a chase. Nagi starts screaming. She goes to investigate and doesn't really put the knife down. Is kind of it. I mean, the closest thing we had to her being intentionally mean with the knife scene is the look she gives, which might just be a bit of resting, like her resting face. I don't know. But it is just kind of funny. Nagi sort of slowly starting to spiral. Wait a second, there's something really weird about what's going on here. And then he jumps to that worst case scenario, which again is not what Nagi before this arc, I think, would have ever really done. You know, Nagi was always, what if this is a sign that Hiro is truly in love with me? And now is, what if it's a sign she's going to kill me? And, you know, we did see that once before at the festival with the watermelon knife. Which of course gets the callback here, importantly, to make that connection a bit more literal. But anyway, it's all in good fun, mostly. And then we see some more of Hiro's kind of determination and her apology, kind of acting more mature than really anyone else in this cast. You know, she was in the wrong. She shouldn't have sort of lashed out at Nagi when it was really all Ai's fault. Even if Nagi can't quite get the full meaning of what's going on here. Then it leads to that fun declaration, I'm the star of this show. And of course, she's not fully grown up. She still, like, refers to Nagi as a bit player kind of teasingly. And is a little bit disappointed that he doesn't really fight back in the end. But still, all in good fun there. And now we have Erika at the Uminos, and we'll see what comes of that. If that face-to-face is about this storyline, or if we're going to come back to Ritsuko and Sojiro and Sosuke and all the stuff going on with the Uminos. Who's to say? All in all, it's a pretty fun time. Hiro's always kind of a riot, I think. And I'm excited to see where we go from here. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!